Welcome back as we continue with our series on where money hides. Money hides in gifts. A man's gift opens doors for him and ushers him before great men. Let me tell you, a gift, a talent will take you to places where education will never take you. A gift, a talent will take you to places where experience, expertise, and skills will never take you. So if there is one search and one journey and one mission you should embark on, is discovering your gift and your talent. And when a business is built out of a gift, out of a talent, from passion to profit, let me tell you, it is a winning combination. In fact, it's Albert Einstein who say that everyone is a genius at something. Everyone is a genius. So everyone is gifted at something. And then he says, if you have to judge the intelligence of a fish by climbing a tree, then that fish will live for the rest of its life thinking it was really stupid, foolish. Fish were never meant to climb trees. They were meant to swim. And monkeys were never meant to swim. They were meant to climb trees. So unfortunately, in this world today, you have people in conflicting jobs. The world is full of paradoxes, full of controversies and contradictions. You have fish busy climbing trees, then you have monkeys busy swimming. No wonder you have a lot of mediocrity around the world. You see men and women so mediocre in the jobs they do, in the businesses they do, very mediocre. The few people that thrive, that we celebrate, they are role models, they are mentors, they are icons, are people that discover gifts and talents and build their enterprises around their gifts and around their talents. These are the great people that we all celebrate. So the hedgehog concept is a winning formula for you. What are you deeply, deeply passionate about? What can you be the best in the world at? And what drives your economic engine? Your gift can drive your economic engine. Let me tell you, the simplest, the fastest, the easiest way to become rich, to build a fortune, is through gifts and talents, not through education and experience. Number 5, tonight before we finish, where money hides. Money hides in product and services. Product and services. So wait a minute. Money hides in people, money hides in problems, money hides in ideas, and money hides in gifts. So, if I find problems and I devise solutions to the problems, and then I create product and services out of those solutions, that's the fortune I'm talking about here. How many people have encountered problems and they have lived with those problems? They talk about those problems. They share those problems. They've even written books about those problems, but they've never designed product and services that speaks to those problems. So money hides in product and services. Everyone that has built a fortune, these are people who looked at problems, and out of problems, they came up with product and they came up with services. Time will fail me to go context, giving scenarios, examples, and stories. But money hides in product and services. Product and services designed out of problems. The service that we have globally today in the name of Amazon, it was designed out of a problem. This banker thought about a problem that people had. They had problem of convenience. They wanted to purchase things. They had purchasing power, but the protocols and the hustle and the bustles of going to shopping malls and to stores to buy those things, some of them say, you know what, I'd rather be home with my family over the weekend than get into traffic and parking and ticketing and then come home. A weekend is wasted. He found a solution to that problem, and then created services that spoke to that problem. And the rest, we made him the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, a service born out of a problem. We have many services locally, in Uganda, in East Africa, in Africa, and world over, that were born out of problems, and they're the ones that everybody's flocking into and making the service owner or the product owner a millionaire, a billionaire, and building fortune for them. We say money hides in ideas. How many people have turned their ideas into services and products? A lot of people, mothers, housewives, a lot of people, youth, in their teens, and some of them in high school, some of them in university. They have great ideas, but the idea stops as ideas. You see, an idea is never valuable until it becomes a service. An idea is never valuable until it becomes a product. When your idea is still an idea in your mind, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. Last week we spoke about the Great East Mall in Lusaka, built as a public partnership project between the University of Zambia and a local entrepreneur. Land that was abandoned as a swamp, full of snakes and rats and rubbish dumping site. But someone looked at that land isolated and abandoned. They saw a mall that was hosting thousands of people every day. That transaction through banks and institutions within the mall worth millions and millions of dollars every day. And they created a service. They created a product, and the rest is history. So I say, yes, an idea is good, but an idea is worthless. An idea is useless. An idea is foolish when it stops as an idea. How many people have ideas written in their notebooks, have ideas written in their diary? They spoke about those ideas in Sunday school. They spoke about those ideas with women in the marketplace. They spoke about those ideas with their spouse, with their fiancé when they were dating. But 20 years later, after marriage, 30 years later, the ideas are still ideas. And let me tell you, you have denied yourself a fortune by keeping your ideas as ideas. You have to convert your ideas into product. You have to convert your ideas into services. And people will pay for the services. People will pay for the product because money hides in product and services. So, ladies and gentlemen, part 1, where money hides, we spoke about the 5 places where money hides. Part 2, where money hides, we'll talk about the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th place where money hides, and that is next week. For now, we'll go to the next section, that is Ask Pepe. And I have 2 questions to answer tonight from our dear viewers. Thank you. Welcome to Ask Pepe segment. And tonight I will just pick 2 questions. We have so many questions, but I'd like to answer 2 questions. In fact, one of the questions is so related to this topic. The question goes like this: how do you rediscover yourself? How do you find the hidden and lost you? That childhood spark, those younger years' dreams. I love this question. I can write a book around this question. How do you rediscover yourself? A deep question. Now, in our younger years, we send signals to the world of who we are, because at that age we are naive. We have no psychological constraint. We have no societal bias. We are raw. We are real. We are ourselves. We dare to dream without limits. We see the world for what it is, not for what others have told us it is. Now, to rediscover yourself, one of my advice to most of my mentees and coaches is, get me 3 people that knew you very well as a child. It could be a parent, a sibling. It could be a teacher in school, or it could be even a priest or a pastor in a Sunday school. And ask them to share with you significant events in your life as a young person. You know, the things you were so intrigued about, the things you were so passionate about, the conversations you could not stop talking about, the people that fascinated you, the dreams that you entertained. Sometimes the spark, the signals are shown as we are germinating. As we grow older, we get lost in the world with biases, with other people's opinion, with circumstances, and then the world or our environment paints a different picture on our face. I have a concept I talk about, the 4 E's of self-actualization. I say number 1, environment, the first E. I say the second E is education, and the third E is experience, and the last E is exposure. Those are the 4 E's of self-actualization. Education could be the right one or the wrong one. Experience could be the right one or the wrong one. And even exposure could be the wrong one or the right one. And environment could be the right environment or the wrong environment. So those 4 E's, they shape us. We can get lost in our environment. We can get lost in our education if there was the wrong one. We could get lost into our exposure or the experiences we've gone through. But how do you again rediscover yourself? The hedgehog concepts. What are you deeply passionate about? Or what were you deeply passionate about as a child? If the people that knew you are still around. What were you the best in the world at as growing up? If the people around you. What is it that people wanted to pay for? When you perform, people came and put money on your forehead, as Africans we like doing. It's an African thing. What is that thing? You can rediscover yourself. In fact, in my 10th book, Beyond Limit, I talk about what will the child you once were think of the adult you have become now? Will the child you once were be proud of the adult you've become now? So, yeah, you can dream again. There's still hope to rediscover yourself. That was question number 1. The last question, question number 2, this viewer asked a question saying, how to get promoted faster than the average employee? You see, I get questions from forums. I get questions through my socials. I get questions on the street, in events. So I go to places, people say, hey, are you Pepe? And then they'll ask me questions and they'll comment. How to get promoted faster than the average employee? I was in Southern Africa recently, and one guy who was the head of HR of a big institution told me, say, Pepe, at my younger years as a career man, I got promoted 3 times in 5 years. From an officer to a supervisor, from a supervisor to a manager, from a manager to a regional manager. And the rest is history. The guy is young. He's a director of HR of one of the leading institutions in that part of the continent. I say, Kelvin, tell me, how did you get promoted 3 times in 5 years to senior positions? He say, look here, the secret is simple. Make your supervisor, make your boss shine. Support them, make them shine. The more they shine, the more they get noticed. The more they get called to higher positions. And the faster they will grow, the faster you grow. And whenever they move to the next role, they always ask, who do you think can take the role that you are holding? And because they know that you help them get where they are, you'll be the first person they recommend. So how to get promoted faster in career? Don't be self-centered. Sometimes young people focus too much on themselves. No, focus on the person that is occupying the dream seat you have. In my book, Be Inspired Before You Expire, I say, life is funny. One man's dream is another man's reality. If you dream to build a house on top of Naguru Hill, that's a dream for you. The person that owns a house on top of Naguru Hill, that's not a dream for them. It's a reality. So one man's dream is another man's reality. The car you dream to drive, someone is driving. To you, it's a dream. To them, it's not a dream. You dream to have a marriage, a home, to have a wedding. For those who have had weddings, it's no longer a dream, it's a reality. So, your boss, that's a reality. For you, that's a dream. Get them promoted. Then you get promoted along the way. It was a great pleasure speaking to you tonight. The 5 places where money hides. People, problems, ideas, gift and talent, and then product and services. Until next time, as we start part 2, make sure you are back here, the same time, the same station. And until then, be inspired before you expire. Good night.